fans and families, and welcome to the 2021 Roncalli High School Athletics Cash Bash. It's a little different this year, obviously, but the response from our community has been just fantastic. I think we've sold a record number of tickets this year, over 425 tickets, so got a lot of involvement still, and just thank you. Thank you very much for your involvement with that. You have been fantastic supporters throughout this year during this pandemic, and we can't thank you enough for your continued support of Royal Athletics. A lot of people to thank, and I'm going to introduce our Athletics Booster Committee right now. So we're going to go ahead and start here with Aaron Beckman. We've got Pat Solar. We've got Ron Carr here. We've got Eric Rail. We've got Sarah Kegris. We've got Allie Leffler. We got John Currens. And not with us tonight is Jenny Agramonte. She couldn't be with us tonight, but she's been awesome with us. And we also have a guy laying on the beach watching the show tonight, and that is Mr. Greg White, and you'll hear more about him later. Also, we have to thank Rob Brown, who's been awesome with the covering a bunch of interviews with our student athletes and coaches, which will be an addition to our show tonight, which will be a lot of fun. Also, Stefan Welch, who's been doing a lot of technology behind-the-scenes video work with us. Thank you to him. Also, Reagan Getz and Chris Lauk, our athletic administrators, assistants in the athletic department, who had to answer hundreds and hundreds of questions and take in a lot of money and selling tickets for the last several weeks. So thank you to that group. Also, huge thanks to our assistant athletic director, Jason Sims, who has a message for everybody.
First off, I just want to say thank you for all your help. Without your contributions, none of this would be possible. Just want to highlight a couple things. This group of the last 4 years has purchased over 200 state championship rings. We've done some major projects for drainage for our baseball and football facilities. We have put banners in the new gym here when they look beautiful. Those cost over $15,000. We've been able to supplement our weight room the last couple of years with this kind of money. So thank you for that. We have big plans moving forward, and we're excited about what we're going to be able to do over the next couple of years.
Thank you, Jason, and thanks for all your contributions to the athletic department, obviously. So, we have a show ready for you tonight. We're going to draw several names out. You're never out, all right? So if you get drawn right now, you're never out. You'll be back in the hopper. We'll cut away after we draw. We'll cut away to Rob Brown and some different interviews with our student athletes and coaches. I'm sure you're going to enjoy the stories that they're going to provide tonight. So there might be $5,000 in this case right now. Might not be. I don't know. We'll see. But we are going to give out $5,000 next week. So if your name's drawn, we will get in touch with you. So without further ado, we're going to draw our first winner of the night, $500. Our first winner, ticket number 500, is David and Nancy Smith. Congratulations to David and Nancy Smith. Big winners, big supporters of Roncalli Athletics. Now we're going to take it away to Rob Brown with Coach Rodenberg and Baron Hebler. Enjoy.
And we're back. Thank you, David, for that last drawing. We're pleased to be joined here on the interview set by football head coach John Rodenberg and football senior all-state running back Baron Hebler. Guys, first of all, we'll start with you, Baron. You finished your career as the number 2 rusher in program history in a program that's littered with big-time running backs, but you also can call yourself a state champion. Mm-hmm. How does it feel to have those two things kind of side by side as your career ends?
Oh, it just means so much. I mean, at the end of the day, though, I mean, stats are just stats, but for me, what will definitely last a while is knowing that you won a state championship with your brothers, your senior class and all that. But so, I mean, for all the stats is nice, but what will go a long way for sure is the state championship, for sure.
Coach, you get a state championship here in your first year with Roncalli. You won a state championship in Kentucky, won a couple in Ohio, so you know what it means to be a state championship and what teams have to have in their DNA to be a state champion. What was it about this particular group that you think made them state champions?
Well, the team chemistry. They play together, and then the buy-in factor, which is crazy for a first-year coach to get the kind of buy-in factor I got. But if you tie that team chemistry, these guys were very selfless, and they were ready to do whatever they were asked to do to be successful. And I think that is the core of how championship teams are made. Team chemistry, selflessness, and they got it done.
Baron, this was a unique year in that crowds were limited, fans were limited in their ability to come to the games. But I know that rally after the state championship, there was all sorts of energy in the stadium. And I know you guys felt it all year in terms of the support of the community. What does that mean to the program?
For sure. I mean, when you play for Roncalli, you know the support system and all that you have. But it was tough, obviously, with COVID and all that. We couldn't get as many people as we wanted, but we knew that they would be streaming it or anything. So we just knew that we had the support, even though if we couldn't see it on the game day, for sure.
Speaking of team chemistry, I know a lot of your offensive brothers are here behind us. Why don't you introduce us to these guys?
Yep, for sure. We got Trevor Lauk, the guy over here, Luke Scartweet, Justin Lewis, Sam Seacrest, Patrick Meek, and we got Grant Ray. He's quarantined, unfortunately, on the
But he's still with us.
FaceTime.
He's still with
No,
us.
still with us. Patrick Meek, Big Michael Gallagher, and QB1 Aiden Leffler.
Coach, I know Barron is the only senior in this group. He's going to walk out of here with a career that people will talk about on the South Side for years to come. But you're excited about this group. All these guys behind you are back for next year and a defense of that 4A state championship. How excited are you to get these guys to work?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. You know, we've already been in the weight room now for about a month, and it could be, probably will be the best offensive line I've ever coached. I mean, the size, the athleticism, guys are really good. You know, and you know, my whole theme for next year is I don't want to repeat. So a whole brand new team. I want to go out and become as good as we can possibly be. That's what we want to be.
I know everybody associated with this program, broadcasters included, are counting the days till August when we get back out and start the 2021 season. We want to thank, for this particular segment, our sponsors, Stage Ninjas and Indy Steel Erectors. We'll throw it right back now to Pat Solar for another drawing here on the RABC broadcast.
Hi, this segment is brought to you by Soupy Culpeper Incorporated, Cox Beckman Goss and Company. Just remember, if you need your tax returns done, Mr. Beckman will take care of you. My name is Pat Solar. I've been on the RABC for around 7 years. Been a great group to work with. I have 3 kids that attended Roncalli. I got Ryan, Kathleen, and my youngest, Elizabeth, is a proud member of the last Rebel class of 2021. I'd also like to do a shout out to Mr. Jason Sims and Dave Lauk for what they do for the Roncalli athletic program. It's awesome. They're great people to work with. I'd also like to shout out to Mr. Chuck Weisenbach and all the teachers and faculty because they are the reason Roncalli is great. Now I'd like to throw it. Remember, tonight is all about the Benjamins. We got 5 of them coming out here. So, Mr. Lack, who's our next lucky winner?
Let's see here. Our next winner is going to be Jack and Emily.
It is Jack and Emily Hoagland. Congratulations, $500. 5 of these coming your way. Thank you.
And we're back at the RABC interview loft, now in the Ascension St. Vincent Gymnasium. We're with the volleyball head coaches, girls head coach Christina Rasmus, boys head coach John Kesserton. This segment is brought to us by our friends at Spot Inc. Coach Rasmus, we'll start with you. You were an assistant coach for the program. This past fall was your first year as the head coach. What was that transition like?
It was a really great transition. Luckily, our team was youthful, so I was very familiar with all the girls. We got to keep a lot of the coaching staff, and we just kept a lot of the traditions, and I kind of built upon things that I've seen from Roncalli volleyball and then my own personal liking. So it was a wonderful season. We were very successful and excited for next season.
A lot coming back. I know you're excited.
Lots of coming back.
Coach Kesserton, let's talk about, before we get into this season, where your program has gone over the last 20 years. It's the 20th season of your program?
Correct. Started in 2001.
2001.
Right.
You go 20 years and you transition from a startup, kind of a startup business, if you will.
Right. Started with a parent donation.
And then you think about that transition all the way to winning the state championship, multiple trips to state finals.
Right. I was at Cathedral when Roncalli started the program, and they were an afterthought. Christina's husband was on the first team here. And then we go to finishing second in the state in 2011. Just in 10 years, a rapid turnaround. And now we've had 5 runner-ups in the state championship in 2018. We're just a powerhouse, the largest program in the state for boys.
60 plus at the tryouts, right?
60 plus, yes. And it's hard to cut kids because we're the only program in the state that cuts boys who play travel ball. They play year round. They could start for any varsity team in the state, and they don't make our program.
That's a testament to what you built up.
Well, myself and others. Jennings before me, Mitchell Ard before me. There were some amazing coaches long before I got here.
Well, speaking of tradition, Coach, you played here on a state championship team.
Yeah.
A lot of your staff similar. Tradition, I don't know, other than maybe football, certainly on the girls' side, there's no program that has more tradition around college than volleyball.
Right.
How do you translate that feel of tradition to your current group of players, today's players?
Well, I was taught by Shimbra, always have good people around you, and I think having a good coaching staff is super important for the girls to be around. They can learn from us through the way we coach, the way we are as people, the way we are as Christians. And so we make sure that we keep those traditions of the mentality that we have when we're on the court, how we are as teammates, and we really say that we are a family, and we truly have a lot of family tradition with Kaylee and Shimbra and my sister on the staff, and we play as a big family. We protect each other, and we keep those traditions alive as much as we can.
Well, and to take that step further, you can go down to the cafeteria and see the state championship picture from the early 80s and the little kids in the front row.
Yes.
Saw the picture of your team after they won sectional, little kids in the front row.
Yeah.
That's 30 years plus of tradition.
Yeah, we're hoping that there'll be volleyball players on both of our courts.
And Coach, I know you're anxious to get going
Very much so.
for this season, a lot coming back. How much more important is this season, and how grateful are you, I guess, for this season, given the fact that you didn't have one last year?
Very grateful. The season was canceled on the first night that we were supposed to play Kentucky's #1 here in the ASB. And we had a dominant team who, if we could have played the season, would have easily won one state. And this year's, we're going to be just as dominant. We have 6 seniors coming back. They're all being recruited. It's just an amazing program. And I'm fortunate to coach them because, they make me look good.
Well, I thank both of you for spending a little time with us and talking volleyball.
Yeah.
We want to thank our sponsors for this particular segment. Dr. Michael Morelli on behalf of Indiana Gastroenterology and Hepatology and the Clayton and Celeste Willis family. Now we're going to send it back to Aaron Beckman for another drawing.
Welcome back. This segment is brought to you by Sarah Klee, Century 21 Sheets, and Iria's Family Restaurant. Making me hungry just sitting here. My name is Erin Beckman. I have a daughter who graduated from Roncalli in 2015, and Cole Beckman, who's a senior this year at Roncalli as well. I've been a part of the committee for 3 years, and very proud to work with such great individuals here serving our athletic department. And our next winner is...
Let's see here. That is
Aaron and Jill Irwin. Congratulations, you're our next winner. And now back to Rob.
And we're back at the Roncalli Athletic Booster Club interview loft here with the gymnastics coaches. Lori Hall, Kelly Gridley, pleased to have them with us. This segment is brought to us by Kelly O'Connor of Century 21 Realty and Spot Inc. So I want to dive right in here. Let's talk first of all about neither one of the two of you are Roncalli alums, so there's no connection from going to school here. So how did you get involved in Roncalli?
I guess we'll talk about that small community, small world type of thing. One of David Lauk's neighbors reached out to me, 8 years ago, and asked if I was interested in coaching. We judged for several years and always kind of joked around about, hey, maybe one day we'll coach. At the time, Marion County really didn't have very many teams, so we never thought that that would be an opportunity. And I was working in Fishers at the time and didn't know if I could swing it. Reached out to Lori and said, hey, what do you think about coaching at Roncalli? And we were immediately interested. So given our schedules at the time, I think Lori was more the better candidate for a head coaching role. So we reached out, got in, and we've been sucked in ever since.
Lori, you want to add anything to that?
No, Kelly's right. We were gymnasts, high school gymnasts for Perry Meridian High School, and they no longer have a team. The only Marion County teams left are us and Franklin Central. So Franklin Central's coach was my high school coach. So just connections all around.
Okay. So we were talking before we went on air here. Your program, the swimming program, golf program, the only programs that don't practice or compete on campus. So how is that? What are the challenges in that dynamic?
It is tricky, along with saying we don't necessarily have the connection to Roncalli because we're not alum. So it's, if it weren't for David Lack, we probably wouldn't feel as connected to the school as we do. A lot of the athletic departments surrounding schools don't necessarily support high school gymnastics. It's pricey. It may not bring in the fans, the crowds that some of the other sports do, but we're thankful for David Lauk and the parents of the girls on the team because they do make us feel like a part of the community.
Yeah, okay. So this particular group, no seniors, one of the few programs in the athletic department that doesn't have a senior, so you're going to have most of this group, not all the group back next year. What do you like about this particular group? I'll talk to you.
We've got a great group of girls this year. We've got 3 freshmen who have done club gymnastics in the past, and I would say from the beginning of the season to now, if you would have told me that they were doing some of the tricks that they were doing now, I would have laughed. They are motivated. They're dedicated. They're the girls that are, if you have an opportunity to leave 15 minutes early, they're the girls staying 15 minutes late. We are excited to see how they progress into into senior year. They want to do well. They're used to getting 9.0s and up in club gymnastics. They're getting low 8s, sometimes a 7. And so they want to get those 9s, and I think that's exciting. That's kind of one of the things that's different, with us talking about the challenges from having a high school team and practicing in a club environment. Most of the great gymnasts are in a club, so we've got better equipment when we're allowed to be at a club. I think some of the challenges are that we have several different clubs in the Indianapolis areas, some that don't support high school gymnastics. So you have a girl that maybe went to this gym or that gym, maybe not the gym that we practice at now. And the girls that do practice at the gym that we're at, they've got the support of the owner. So I think seeing those opportunities, I think is going to be positive, and we're looking forward to the advancement that they'll show in their senior years.
What do you like about this group?
Like Kelly was saying, some of the hardest workers we've ever had. It's really exciting knowing we're not saying goodbye to anybody. Everyone's coming back next year, which is really good considering the circumstances of this year.
Yep.
But this is our 8th season as coaches, and they're so motivated to work. And now I think even the girls that came from another club see this now as their home gym. They're already talking about wanting to work out at that gym in the off season, which that's never happened before. The girls have kind of seen it as a 3 or 4 month commitment, and then we don't see them again until November. So yeah, very exciting.
So last question. You two are one of 2 sets of sisters in the athletic program that coaches together. What's that been like?
It's very easy to communicate our frustrations and our celebrations, I think, at the same time. So I honestly don't know what it would be like to coach with somebody who's not my sibling. We were talking about this earlier, that our other sister judges us, so it's really cool when the 3 of us are all there together and we can kind of share, like, well, if she did this trick or that trick, we might be able to improve her score. And just the communication is very laid back, not so stressful, I think, as if we were siblings.
Funny, I don't think we've ever talked about it.
Right.
And I think everybody thinks that we're really close because we spend so much time together, but we really aren't together that much.
Sure.
Her stronger point is 2 events. My stronger point are the other 2 events, and so we're pretty separated. We bounce a lot of things off of each other, but for the most part, she makes the decisions on the stronger events, and I make the decisions on the others, and we don't really ever disagree.
No.
So it's been fun. I think it strengthens our relationship, but we don't really ever think about it, I guess.
Again, I wouldn't know what it's like to coach with somebody who's not my sister.
And I guess my follow-up would be, how much does it help the program that your areas of strength complement each other?
A lot this year for sure, because we've kind of tried to keep the girls separated, so if something were to happen in contact tracing, we have 2 different groups, essentially kind of like 2 different teams.
Sure.
But yeah, just like, I don't know, it's if it's a vault situation, we go to Kelly. If it's a bar situation, we come to me. Those types of things. So I don't know. Our weaknesses strengthen each other, I guess.
Well, I appreciate both of you spending some time with us, and hope the viewers out there learned a little bit more about the gymnastics program. This segment has been brought to us by Quality Supply and Tool. Now we're going to send it back to Eric Rail. He's got another drawing here as we move forward.
Thanks, Rob. I'd like to thank Ridgeline Restoration, Agresta Storms, and O'Leary PC, and Spot Inc. My name's Eric Rail. I've been on the committee for 5 years now, and to be a part of this committee has been awesome. We couldn't ask for a better group of people. I have a daughter, Eliza, who's a senior, class of 21, last Rebel class, and then I'll have a son coming in who's an 8th grader from Nativity. Really excited for that. So the next 4 years are going to be awesome. Can't wait. I'd like to thank everybody that's contributed to this. It's been spectacular what's going on, and the outpouring has been unreal. So thank you very much. David, Lauk, and Jay Sims, truly remarkable for what they've done this year and had to put up with and deal with the games and let people in and out. Awesome job, awesome job. So let's draw another $500 winner. This will be awesome.
All right, who we got here? Let's go with Mike Som.
Looky there, Mike Som, the big winner. Show me the money. Show me the money, Mikey. Back to you, Rob. Thank you, buddy.
And we're back in the RABC interview loft at the Ascension St. Vincent Gymnasium. This segment is sponsored by the Shutley Foundation. Pleased to be joined by the Roncalli basketball coaches, Michael Watts on the boys' side, Tim Gray on the girls' side. Coach Watts, I'm going to start with you. This is your 19th season as the head coach, winningest coach in program history. When you think about where the program was when you started versus where it is now, what do you think are the 2 or 3 things that maybe played into getting the program to where it is?
Well, that's a tough question because it was not in bad hands when I took it over.
Right.
Coach Dave Gervasio had done a great job, but I do think the one thing that we're being able to do, as we know, the football success here is tremendous and continues to go. But I think if anything, maybe we did is let them know that we have to spend at least as much time on basketball in the summers. Specifically as we do football, if not maybe more. So I think the commitment in the summer, the commitment of the fall and the spring when guys aren't playing another sport has really helped our program as well as with maybe getting them playing together earlier with the Roncalli basketball club in the spring as well.
Now, Coach Gray, this is your first season as the head coach at Roncalli, just wrapped up, heading up the girls program. You've been here before, 5 years, maybe 6. On the girls' side as the freshman coach, JV coach about 10 years ago. That understanding of the culture here at Roncalli, how important was that to help you acclimate in as the head coach?
The culture is the big thing in Roncalli. Just having that the family feel, being able to bring in religion and things is a big part of it. Also having that youth program that we started when I was here the first time makes that a little bit easier of an adjustment. And just, like I said, the culture is just huge. And then being able to kind of put in my own spin on culture and building our program the way we want it to go.
Now, Coach Watts, if you think back to when you started and kind of all the knowledge and things that you've accumulated over your 19 years here, what were maybe the 2 or 3 things that you would pinpoint that you would go back and give your younger self some advice?
That's a great question. Probably not live and die with every loss, that the sun will come up tomorrow and you got to just keep moving forward. We heard one, sometimes the NFL coaches say, don't let an opponent beat you 2 weeks in a row. So you want to make sure you move past and start getting ready for the next opponent. But those early years, you really live and die those first years because you don't realize there's going to be several more years, there's going to be several more games. So that's what I would give advice to myself is sun will come up tomorrow and there'll be another game.
Giving that advice to me right now.
Yeah. Coach Gray, what are maybe, as you kind of get your program going, what are maybe the 2 or 3 maybe program philosophies or pillars that you want to build on?
One of the things that we put in from day one is we want to move beyond kind of where we're at, where hard work is non-negotiable. We kind of use that term really loosely, and we just said that's no longer an expectation, that we're going to come in and compete. and just going beyond the hard work. So that the preparation, the off season, we're being able to compete in our sectional for championships. That's a big thing that we've gotten there. And then we want to be able to play fast and tough to kind of compete with some of the teams that are on our schedule.
I want to thank both you guys, Coach Wantz, Coach Gray, for sitting in with us here for a few moments. I want to thank our sponsors here in this particular segment, Mike and Andrea Morelli and Indy Steel Erectors. Now we're going to send it back for another drawing. Ron Carr's got the next one.
Thanks, Rob. This segment is sponsored by Kelly O'Connor, Century 21, greatest realtor in the state of Indiana, as well as Quality Supply and Tool. There you go, Kevin Ane. Also, it's sponsored by Dr. Chris Browning with Vision Quest Eye Care. My name is Ron Carr. I've been on the committee for 4 years. I have a son that graduated last year who's now at IU. I have twin daughters who are seniors now that will be going to St. Xavier, next year. And I have a future Royal, Nikolai, who is a 4th grader at St. Barnabas. Right now, I think we're going to draw the next $500 winner. Last $500 winner. Come on. Let's see here. We're going to go with Jeremy. The next $500 winner is Jeremy Nally. Congrats. Back to you, my friend.
And we're back in the RABC interview loft here in the Ascension St. Vincent Gymnasium. Pleased on this segment to be joined by the Roncalli girls basketball seniors. This segment is brought to us by our friends at Spot Inc. We have Abby Carr, Maddie Bischoff, Sophie Carr, all with us. 3 girls basketball seniors combined. They've all played over 240 games, combined varsity games. First class in over 15 years to have at least 3 players playing 80 varsity games. We're happy to have them with us. Girls, this is more kind of a look back on your 4 years here. It goes quickly, as we talked on after the last home game. We'll go around the circle here. What was your favorite memory of your time playing here? We'll start with that.
That's always a hard question because I always want to say every memory is my favorite memory, but I gotta say when it's after a big win, and you're just on that big win rush, you get in the locker room. A lot of people don't see it, but you get in the locker room and all the girls are just cheering at the top of their lungs. We're just jumping on top of each other. It's just a lot of fun. It just shows how much excited we are for that win and for the rest of the season, how much we love each other too.
Maddie?
Mine was probably the Heritage Christian game this season. I feel like we all just played together and we just all played really well. And it was a really hard team and we did really well against them. And at the time we thought that was like who we had to beat to win the conference, but actually it wasn't. But they were still a good team.
Sure.
But we just played really well and it was a fun win.
And it was the first time in 4 years that you guys beat them too. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Sophie?
I also like the Heritage Christian game, but recently it's the Bishop Chautard game. Just like when you see the pictures of us in the huddle, just cheering and jumping, it just brings back good memories. It makes me feel good. But and especially like in the locker room, it was so much fun after that too.
Well, and in that Chautard game, that Clemson championship, you all had big shots down the stretch. Sophie hit the 3, then shocked everybody. Then Abby drew a charge down here. Maddie hit the down the stretch. So everybody played a role in that game. What is it meant to be a 4-year? A lot of kids are athletes here at Roncalli, but they don't get a chance to be 4-year varsity players in whatever sport they're in. What does that mean to you?
It shows how much commitment you have to always push yourself and how much commitment you have to the program too. It's hard as a student, especially at Roncalli, to play the varsity level sports, and being there for 4 years just shows how much you're willing to put in the work and make yourself a better player in person.
Maddie?
I'm very blessed, and it's really special to me because the girls I've been around the past 4 years have really changed me, and I just have so many great memories of them, so I'm really blessed.
What about you, Sophie?
I mean, they have great answers, and I can't really top theirs, but it's a lot of hard work to put in, especially with the basketball because it's hard on your body too, but like long practices and like you get to the end of your 4 years, like, wow, I made it, and it's worth it. Definitely worth it.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up. What advice you would give younger players? We'll let Sophie start with this one.
I would just say, like, enjoy it while you're playing and have fun because it really does go by fast. but just have fun. It's fun.
Yeah, have fun with it. It goes by so fast, and don't take anything for granted because anything can be taken away so fast.
I would say also have fun. Always take for granted. Don't take for granted the times you have, but also really appreciate your teammates because they're going to be lifelong friends. Because I know that we're always going to be lifelong friends, and that's what this program is set up for. Is to set up this friendships for the rest of your life too.
Well, I think on behalf of all Roncalli girls basketball fans, I want to thank the three of you. It's been a joy to watch the three of you play for 4 years, and it's been a real pleasure. We want to thank, give a shout of good luck to Dom and Sophia Morelli here in this segment as we wrap it up, and I also thank our sponsor here on the segment, Stage Ninja. We're going to send it back to Allie Leffler, who has our next drawing.
All right, welcome back. Thanks again, Rob, for another great interview. We got a little different segment going on here now. So we've handed out $2,500 in cash so far. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to draw 10 names out. And I'll do that here shortly after Allie gets a chance to introduce herself. We're going to draw 10 names out. Every one of those 10 names drawn out is going to win at least $100. The final person is going to win $1,000. And you know what? Since we've been so successful this year, we're going to draw one more name at the very end for an extra $1,000, which no one here knows about. All right? So we're going to give away another $3,500 here. So I'm going to cut out. Allie Leffler is going to take over and introduce herself.
Hello, I am Allie Leffler, and I've been on the Booster Club for about 5 years, a little over. I have 4 children. My oldest graduated in 2018. Her name is Scout. And I have a current junior. His name is Aiden Leffler. And I have 2 youngers at Nativity Catholic School. They are on their way to be a Royal. I would actually like to thank 2 great sponsors, thank you very much. Our home school of Nativity Athletics and Perfinity Insurance, thank you very much. And we are getting ready to draw our 10 names.
Yep.
Good luck, show us the money.
I got to shut this here, Allie. We're going to get 10 names.
All right.
I'll hand you the names and you read them off, all right? All right, we've got Jackie Wiesner.
The first winner, drawer is Jackie Wiesner. However, you do win $100.
At least $100. Jeff Vaught.
Jeff Vaught.
We've got John and Laura Shanahan.
John and Laura Shanahan.
They will all go in a bucket.
That's 3, 7 more.
Let's see here.
Steve Miller. And not the band.
Not the band. We don't know. It could be.
Could be.
Robert McElroy.
Robert McElroy. Chad and Jenny McNeely. Kevin Burge. He is a Nativity guy.
Oh, good job, Kevin. All right, let's see here.
David and Melissa Tiller.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there goes the jersey.
Aiden got sacked.
That's
oh, no. Aiden got sacked. It's not going to happen next year. We've got Marla Riddle.
Marla Riddle.
And our last one.
Last but not least, we're going to put them all in a bucket to draw the names out.
Last one is Kathleen McGuire.
Kathleen McGuire, who happens to be another Nativity soul.
Go figure. All right. Take that.
All right, thank you very much, and we'll take it back to Rob.
And welcome back. We're here in the wrestling room with our next round of interviews. This is with the Roncalli 2021 State Wrestling finalists, Sam Peebles and Bryce Lauer. Before we get to the interview, though, this session is brought to us by Subi Culpepper Incorporated and Perfinity Insurance. So guys, we'll get right to it. Sam, this was your first trip to the state finals. What was that experience like, being the first time?
I mean, obviously it was like a really great experience just wrestling at Banker's Life, and like there's just a different energy there than wrestling in like different venues, like wrestling at Roncalli, wrestling like at a different school. It's just a different experience for you wrestling at Banker's Life.
And what was that feeling like at Newcastle in the semi-state when you got that win and you knew that you had your ticket punched?
I mean, it was definitely a great feeling just to know that I was going to Banker's Life Fieldhouse the next weekend.
Now, Bryce, even though you're a sophomore, you're a veteran at this. You were there last year as a freshman.
this year, the sophomore, how was the experience different? I know the crowd situation was very different.
Yeah, I'd like to feed off the energy of the crowd sometimes, and that wasn't there this year. I mean, I always had to wrestle through it and figure out how I'm going to be able to win matches there. And there was a lot of differences. Like there was no warm-up time before, like right before wrestling and after weigh-ins, and so that kind of threw me off a little bit. Had to get my blood pumping beforehand, and just a lot of stuff. Definitely different atmosphere, but I had to get through it.
So what was it like? Last year you wrestled at 106 and were a state medalist. This year you move up to 126. What was that jump like? 'Cause I don't think people that aren't involved in wrestling day-to-day understand how difficult that jump is.
I mean, so when you're a 106 pounder, a lot of the kids are not cut very much weight. They're around your size. I was obviously kind of a bigger 106 pounder, so I had that to my advantage. This year bumping up, I mean, I was a little bit of a smaller 26, and I had to work harder. I had to make sure, because I wasn't being the strongest guy in the weight class, so I had to make sure that I got my technique, everything was crisp before I got there.
Now, Sam, this wrestling program, one of the few programs in the school that does not have a senior, so that in that kind of situation, a lot of the veteran juniors have to step in and fill that leadership role. What was that like for you and your classmates?
I mean, obviously it's nerve-wracking not having any seniors, just because we're like a younger team and we don't have like any like Bryce was the only returning person with state experience, but there's really nothing we could do about that. So the juniors just had to kind of step up and try and be leaders for the team.
But what was that like, though, knowing that when you were in here at practice every day looking around the room, hey, this group's going to be all back next year, and we really have a kind of a 2-year run with this group?
I mean, obviously, yeah, that's really great. Everyone we have this year is going to be back next year, and hopefully we'll have a lot of great freshmen join us, too.
I want to ask both of you guys what it was like to navigate this wrestling season during the pandemic. This certainly was probably not like any wrestling season the two of you have ever experienced. And how did the coaches play a role in getting you guys through the season and putting you in a position to succeed here at the end?
They made sure we were disciplined, like with our masks, with following protocols and everything. I mean, we had to follow out like contact tracing stuff. Like Peeps got contact traced in our Roncalli duels, and so we just had to make sure we're following the protocols, doing the right things, doing everything we could to make sure we got to actually have our whole season.
Sam?
I mean, yeah, I got contact traced early in the season, which was just kind of just threw a wrench into the plans, but there's really nothing you can do about it, so you just have to keep going, keep following protocols and things like that.
Well, guys, great job this year, and I know you're both excited to get going. Probably already started in your mind getting ready for next season and have this group back. Great job. I want to thank both these guys for sitting in with us here in the interview loft. Before we send it back, this segment again sponsored by Cox, Beckman, and Goss and Company, and also by 3G Auctioneers. Now we're going to send it back to Allie Leffler, I believe, who has the next drawing.
Okay, thanks again, Rob, and welcome back. And we are with a legend, Roncalli girls basketball legend, Sarah Hurley-Kegris here. But first, we want to thank Agresta Storms and O'Leary PC for their sponsorship tonight. Iria's Family Restaurant. Let's get out there and support local Roncalli family restaurant here. And then Spotnik, another family, the Elsner family, Piazza family have been very generous to Roncalli. So here we are. We've got 10 names in the bucket here with Sarah. We're going to draw 5 out right now. But first, Sarah's going to introduce herself.
Like David said, I'm Sarah Kegris. I want to personally thank all of you who have supported Roncalli Athletics tonight. I personally know how important high school athletics are for these students. I have 3 children. 2 of them are current Roncalli athletes. Luke is a sophomore. Drew is a freshman. They both participate in basketball and soccer. And I have a daughter, Sammy, at St. Jude, who will hopefully be a Roncalli athlete as well one day. So thank you again, as we are really molding these fine young people into good Christian athletes. Okay, we ready, David?
Yeah.
We ready? Okay. Okay.
All right, first $100 winner is Steve Miller. Steve, $100 winner. You're going to go back in the hopper, though, to possibly win $1,000 later tonight.
Awesome. Okay, here we go. Yes.
Chad and Jenny McNeely, $100 winners. Congratulations. You're going back in the hopper tonight, too, to win.
This is fun. All the winners.
Guaranteed
Nice.
money.
Guaranteed.
Kevin Burge, congratulations, $100.
Nice.
we've got Robert Michaelry. Congratulations, Robert.
Our final $100 winner.
We got one more $100 winner. Marla Riddle, congratulations to my mother-in-law, $100. All right, we got 5 more in there. The 5 in there are going to get drawn a little bit later. We got some more interviews to come your way. We got 5 more tickets we're going to draw later, and you're going to win more money. Back to you, Rob.
We're back at the RABC interview loft here at the Ascension St. Vincent Gymnasium. I want to thank our sponsor for this segment, Spot Inc. And we're pleased to be joined by girls head track and field coach Royce Antolin, the longest tenured varsity head coach at Roncalli, entering his 24th season. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Brad.
I want to talk first about what it's like. You're one of many coaches here that are Roncalli alums. What is it like to coach at your alma mater?
Well, being able to coach here has been a great experience. Just the history of sports at Roncalli and just being able to give back to the high school that helped form how I think and how I do things is really important to me. And it's been a great experience being able to be here and helping athletes, more so the girls now, but helping all people and athletes grow in their sport.
Roncalli's had 2 girls individual state champions in track, both in the field events side. Anna Weber, shot put champ in 03, and Paige Saylor, the long jump champ in 2017. You coached them both. Mm-hmm. What was it like to coach those 2 state champions?
Well, it really was an incredible experience. I mean, with Anna in the shot put, just being able to be that day and her competitive fire and being able to help her and just witness her refuse to lose, I think was a really great thing. Paige was exactly the same way. She just came out, everything clicked for her that day, and on the very last day, or the very last jump in her event, she just goes out and pops her school record, and beats everybody, and it was just a great experience. That day when they come up there and they sit on that podium, that's just I can't describe really how that feels. Typically, in a school in our size, and we're not the people that think we're a track school. We're not the ones that people think of. And I think having those 2 girls on the podium is just awesome.
And it's a great promotional thing for your program to be able to say that you've coached state champions.
Yes, and they're both in the field events. You're right, and that just shows you that it doesn't really matter as long as you have some heart. Takes a lot of effort. You can do it.
And you've been at this over 2 decades now as a head coach. Yes. Not to age you before your time, because you are younger than me. Let's be clear here.
But I am old.
But if you were able to go back and give yourself advice as a young coach, knowing what you know now, what would you go back and tell your younger self?
Oh, that's kind of a hard one. I do typically like to stay humble, but one thing that I would tell myself is trust myself in those few beginning years. As I've gone over in the last 10, 15 years or so, I've gone to a lot of different clinics, got a lot of different certifications for track. And one thing I've noticed is I'm doing things right. And back when I started coaching, I may not have completely believed that. And I was like, and I'd rack my brains, and I'm sitting there kind of doubting things. But as I grew older, I became a better coach just from learning, from every year learning something a little different or a little new. And I think if I could just trust myself, I may have saved myself a little bit of nervousness and angst as we were going through.
So we're about a month away from the start of outdoor track season. Given the fact that you didn't have a season last year because of the pandemic, how anxious are you to get going this year? How grateful are you and your athletes to have a season this year?
Yes, I am really, really excited for the season. So are my athletes. Last year's team was actually probably the best I've had in about a decade.
Okay.
With Sonderman and just the different seniors. And this year we were going to try to continue that success we would have had. And we are all really pumped for it. We're all still praying that we're going to have one. And we are excited to get started. All the girls have been come up to me. We've started in October, November, and a lot of them come up saying, I just hope we can get this in. We're going to get there and get started. And we're just all looking forward to actually being able to compete this year.
Well, we look forward to seeing you and your team out on the track. Thanks for spending a little time with us here in the interview loft. Want to give a shout out here in this segment to future Royal Lola Morelli and our sponsor of this segment, the Shutley Foundation. We're going to send it now back to Jenny Agramonte for another drawing.
All right, here we go. We're wrapping this up. We are wrapping this party up, unfortunately. It's time to get down to the nitty-gritty here. We got 5 names left in the bucket with Jason Sims. I'd like to thank Dr. Chris Browning again with Vision Quest Eye Care for his great sponsorship and support of Roncalli. He was a classmate of mine, class of 1994. Quality Supply and Tool with Jenny and Kevin Ane. Soupy Culpepper Incorporated for being back here. Cox Beckman Goss and Company. Just some awesome sponsorships. You guys came through big time for us here tonight, and can't thank you enough. So here we go. We're gonna have 2 $200 winners. We got 5 names in there. After you're drawn, Jason Sims is gonna give me the names. I'll name you. You're gonna win $200, and you'll go back in the hopper for the very end of our very final $1,000 winner. So here we go.
All right, here we go. I feel a lot like Vanna White right now. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Go, Dave.
Okay. Our first $200 winner is Kathleen McGuire. Congratulations, Kathleen.
And for our second one,
thank you, Vanna. We have John and Laura Shanahan. All right, 2 $200 winners. You're both going back into the hopper at the very end. I believe, how many we got left in there? 3?
3 left.
We have 3 tickets to go. Our next 2 draws will be for $300, and our final winner will win $1,000. Again, we have the extra bonus draw at the very end. Stay tuned. Back to you, Rob.
And we're back. Welcome in. I want to congratulate the 2 $200 winners. Our interview this session is brought to us by Andrea and Mike Morelli and the St. Jude Men's Club. We're pleased to be joined by Greg White. We'll get more into Greg's mini hats here in a minute. But Greg, first of all, I want to start here. As a guy who did not grow up in Indianapolis and not have the Roncalli community as your upbringing growing up in northern Indiana, how did you initially become connected with Roncalli?
Oh, well, I had a job transfer to Indianapolis, and we looked all the way around Indianapolis. And what really drew us was the opportunity to have good Catholic education for the kids. So we looked all the way around, and luckily for us, we ended up on the south side, and it's been a great decision ever since we've come down to the south side.
You've been involved in so many different ways here at Roncalli, from being on the board of directors to being a parent of 2 graduates, to being on the Roncalli Athletic Booster Club, to being a coach. Specifically to the Booster Club, talk a little bit about what the Booster Club does and its role with the athletic department.
So our main goal is fundraising for the athletic team. So we run the raffle every year, and since I've been involved, we started the golf outing back up. We raise about $25,000 a year, which goes into general athletic spending for Dave's discretion in the athletic office to spend on items that will benefit the entire athletic program. And interestingly, one of the great things we buy are the state championship rings. So luckily, we've had budget problems the last few years to buy those rings.
It's a good problem to have.
Yes,
good problem to have. As you've kind of worked your way through that organization, what have you learned about the Roncalli Athletic Department that you didn't know before?
I would say the dedication of the people involved. So working both as a volunteer at first and now as a coach, and not just David and Jason, who are excellent and great to work with, but coaches all the way through. So I got to work with 2 great coaches in the golf program, and I've learned a lot about that. But the dedication of the people and the commitment to the kids and making a great program here at Roncalli for the kids, it's outstanding. I don't know that there's anywhere better than at Roncalli to have it like this.
So, final question, I want to talk specifically about coaching. You're one of the few coaches in the athletic program that helps out with multiple sports. You assistant coach for the girls golf team in the fall, boys golf team in the spring. What maybe is the 1 or 2 things that you've learned or that you like most about coaching here at Roncalli?
Oh, number 1 is getting to deal with the kids and getting to know the kids. So you get to know the high school kids as friends of your children. So, obviously had a lot of exposure from there. But getting the chance to spend the time with the kids on a daily basis, getting to know them, have some influence over them, helping them not just with the golf game, but talking about where they want to go to school. We've had several kids on the boys team going to engineering, which is my background, so being able to talk to them about that, just helping them grow not just as athletes, as people too. It's been outstanding. I love every bit of it. Sometimes you're tired at the end of the day. Oh, I have to go to practice again, but I never not come away from it refreshed and really enjoy the experience of working with the kids.
Greg, thanks for taking some time to sit down with us this afternoon.
You're welcome.
We're going to throw it back to David and John for the final drawing of the night. Before we do, this is our final interview of the program. I want to thank Penny Hall, especially our wardrobe consultant, for putting together this fine network blazer. Now we're going to send it back to David and John for the final drawing of the night.
All right, welcome back. We got 3 more names in the bucket there, sitting in front of Mr. John Curran, St. Jude parishioner, very involved with the St. Jude athletic department over there, and a good friend of mine. So here we are back, wrapping this up. We got a few more drawings that we want to knock out, but first we want to thank Indy Steel Erectors and Freegee Auctioneers for their sponsorship and support over the years. They've been great with us. So without further ado, introduce John, and he's going to give us some names.
Thanks, David. As David said, my name is John Currens. We are St. Jude parishioners. I had a daughter graduate in 2018, and I also have 2 younger ones still at St. Jude who will be future Royals. I want to thank all of the people that have helped us out, not only this year, but over the past years, to allow us to build such fine facilities here on the South Side. You ready?
Yeah, let's go. 2 names, $300 winners. Who you got?
All right, first name.
$300 winner, Jackie Wiesner.
And second name
is David and Melissa Tiller, $300. Congratulations. And our final winner of $1,000, who's left? I don't even know. Our $1,000 winner, yeah, final name left.
Congratulations to
Jeff Vaught. Jeff Vaught. But we're not done. We're going to cut away to Rob Brown here real quick. He has some final parting words. Then we're going to cut back to us, and we're going to have one more winner for $1,000.
Thanks, David. Hope everyone has enjoyed tonight's broadcast as much as we've enjoyed putting it together for you. I want to thank everyone who sponsored this great event, everyone who tuned in, everyone who bought a ticket. It's been a blast bringing this event to you tonight. And we've got one more surprise up our sleeve, though. We got one more bonus $1,000 winner, and we're going to throw it to David right now for that final $1,000 winner. David.
Okay, welcome back. Things are wrapping up here, and as we promised, we're going to just have a grand prize winner. One more $1,000 winner. Again, you guys supported us. We're going to try to give some more money back out. This is the Cash Bash. Also, thanks to the awesome committee here being here tonight. We had an absolute blast leading up to this, and tonight has been just as fun. So let's draw one more winner here. Let's see what we got.
Oh. Last one.
All right, everybody's back in.
No whammies. No whammies. Press your luck. Come on. Press your luck.
Valerie Horseman. Congratulations.
Hey, do another one.
Do another one. One more.
Come on. That closing got no closing. There we go. Spin the win.
For $1,000.
Big bucks.
$1,000. Let's get out more $1,000.
No whammies.
Why not? Why not? There we go. Valerie, sorry you're not back in. That wasn't part of the deal. Our last winner goes to Agresta Storms in O'Leary. All right, that was fun. That was fun. Okay, to wrap up, like we try to do here before our events, after our events, we're going to have a message from our principal, soon-to-be president, Mr. Chuck Weisenbach. He's going to end in prayer.
Good evening, Roncalli family. What a wonderful evening I think we've had here this evening with our Roncalli Athletic Boosters annual Cash Bash. Certainly missed being in person with you because this night, this Cash Bash, we used to be reverse raffle, really is one of the most energetic nights of the year. And so certainly looking forward to being back in person with all of you next year. But I want to thank everyone who has been a part of our evening, buying tickets or being involved in any way in supporting our Cash Bash this year. I do want to extend just a heartfelt thank you to our Roncalli High School Athletic Boosters Club, the RABC, along with our athletic department, David Laut, Jason Sims, Reagan Getz, and Chris Laut. Together, they form a really dynamic team. And we got a lot of great people supporting Roncalli in a lot of different ways. But I will tell you that our Roncalli Athletic Boosters Club continues to be one of the most vibrant, one of the most dynamic, one of the most aggressive, one of the most supportive groups that we have here. So again, a heartfelt thank you to everybody for all that you're doing. Our athletic program, our athletes, and our coaches and our teams are benefiting immensely from you and from your wonderful support. So thanks again, keep up the great work, and let's go Royals. It's certainly fitting that we kind of close with a prayer this evening, and so please join me. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening with a heart that's filled with thanksgiving, overflowing with thanksgiving. Gratitude, Lord, for your Son, Jesus Christ, for his unconditional love and mercy that he brings to us every day. We thank you for that. We thank you for the years of blessings that you've bestowed upon our school, especially through our Athletic Boosters Club. Thank you for all the members, current and past, who've worked so diligently, so hard, so passionately to support our school and specifically our athletic department. We are grateful for all of those people and their hard work. Lord, we thank you again and for all that's being done here at Roncalli, but we do come to you with a heart that's asking for your continued blessings for our school and really for all schools as we continue to move through this pandemic that now reaches about a year old. Would you continue to bless us, bless our decisions, bless our school, certainly bless our teachers, students, faculty, and families with safety as we continue to move forward through this school year. We love you. We appreciate all that you're doing for us, and we pray that all that's done here at Roncalli is pleasing to you and will help build up your kingdom here on earth. We pray this in Christ's name. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you, and St. John the 23rd, pray for us.